Rated reaction is for mature audiences only, so if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire.
Yar, you salty bastards, it's Monday night. Get ready for Raider reaction. Yeah. Woo! It's Monday night.
15 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras.
Ready with slow motion and isolated cameras.
Stand by, videotape, and rotate.
And tape is rolling in less than 5, in 3, 2, 1.
Take tape.
It's Monday night, Raider Nation.
Good offense is reflected in Bob Chandler, whom you saw seconds ago, and Cliff Branch, whom you see now, and in Raymond Chester, the tight end.
Buckle up. It's Monday night, bitches. It's ready.
It's Monday, motherfucker! Get after it!
We're back. Well, it's Monday night. A new week has begun. I turn on my TV for some pigskin fun.
It's Monday night, Raider Nation. Let's go!
Monday night football's coming on tonight.
It's Monday night.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
It is. It's your girl Raider Red, and it is Monday night, Raider Nation. Let's get
We
it.
got the teams on the field and we turned up the lights. All my rowdy friends are back for Monday night time.
What's up? It's Monday night, and we thought it would be a great idea. You know, it's already bad enough you gotta start out your work week. Monday sucks, and I know when I was growing up, man, I always looked forward to Monday Night Football. So, we thought we'd bring the silver and black and Monday night together for you, right here on Raider Reaction. So, what do you think? You think that sounds like a good idea?
That's a great idea.
Commish Jr. thinks it's a great idea. You know what time it is. Raiders!
So we start the second half. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. No score. Third quarter is underway. Pat Leahy to kick off for the Jets, and it's fielded at the 1-yard line by Timmy Ware. And the one-time Charger brings it back out to the 42-yard line. So it's Timmy Ware handling the ball for the first time tonight, who injects some life as Leander Knight makes the tackle for New York.
Well, there's a
flag down.
Yeah. All the way back at the 15-yard line, and this is going to be some infraction, illegal use of the hands or something against the Raiders. So, boy, a golden opportunity goes by the wayside. They're going to be clear back inside their 10-yard line.
Illegal block, number 92, on the return. First down.
Emmanuel King is the man.
And this is a huge loss. We're talking about a 33-yard loss, and there it is, clear as a bell, right in the middle of your screen. King with the hands flat on the back. Michael Harper was the Jet that got pushed, and a 33-yard infraction.
Moves them back to the 7-yard line, and it's Smith getting them out of the hole as he takes it out to the 26. So Smith, who played a big part early in the game when the Raiders were pinned at their own 1, and then was silent for the rest of the half, brings them out from the shadow of the goal line. A first down out at the 27-yard line. Tony Dorsett is at the Meadowlands tonight. In fact, up in the booth, and we'll be visiting with TD shortly. Find out his status. Tony, of course, injured and not playing this season for the Broncos. We'll get up to date shortly. From the 27-yard line, Prater back to throw. Fires. The catch is made by Fernandez. breaks the tackle, gets into Jet territory, inside the 30, he's got a blocker, he's inside the 15, touchdown Fernandez. And no flag, 73 yards. Willie Gauld out in front of that one with a key block for Hernandez.
And safe to say, the wide receivers are back in the Raider game plan.
Fernandez did a lot of that on his own, but again, it's the typical old-time Raider deep pattern. You protect your quarterback, take it upfield, and let the clip branches of Fred Biletnikoffs, and now the Mervin Fernandez make the big play for you. So Fernandez with a touchdown catch in every game this season, plus the final game last year. Jeff Jaeger's extra point is good, and so the first touchdown of the Art Shell era is a bomb. 73 yards to Mervin Fernandez.
A lot of nifty moves after the catch. He curls back to the inside. There's the missed tackle by Bobby Humphrey. That's what really breaks it open. And then Eric McMillan, the free safety who was there, only got an arm on Fernandez. And then it's just really with that much open field, for a guy with that kind of speed, it's not that difficult to find the...
.103 gone in the third quarter, and the Raiders on top 7-0. As Jeff Jaeger gets set to kick off. Crowd is responding. They're batting around an inflatable doll.
And it's not Gumby.
No, we can't show it to you. You can only see it on the American Ecstasy channel. Jaeger to put it in the air. And the kick is taken at the 11-yard line by Humphrey, who comes back this way and gets tackled at the 4-yard line by Steve Strahan.
Go back to the touchdown pass that Schrader threw to Mervin Fernandez. Look what happens up in the line. Look at the face mask there. That's Rory Graves, who has hooked the face mask of Marty Lyons, and it went undetected mercifully for this guy, Rory Graves, who twice this year has had 3 holding calls in games. Twice. There's Marty Lyons, who got his face mask hooked on that play, and nonetheless, it was a Raider touchdown and has given them a 7-0 lead.
From the 3-yard line, they give it to the up back, and this is Vick who takes it out to the 11-yard line. And we mentioned as the Jets try to move out from the shadow of their own end zone, that Tony Dorsett is here, and TD is with us. And Tony, of course, everybody knows you had surgery, you're out for the season, but what about the future for you?
Well, you know, the thing I'm trying to do, Al, of course, first of all, is trying to get the knee back as healthy as I can, didn't make decisions later.
How you feeling right now?
Feel good, extremely good.
Tony, is the knee such that when it happened, you've been hurt before. Do you think it's something that you'll be able to come back from? Do you think you have a chance?
I think it's going to be tough, Dan. It's a situation, of course, I had reconstruction of my anterior cruciate, and at age 35, you know, the odds are against me, but they're not insurmountable odds, but it feels good. Every 2 days, I feel an improvement in the knee.
Tony's got a book out, Running Tough, Memories of a Football Maverick. Were you really a Maverick, Tony? Come on now.
That's Tom Landry.
That's Texas
Not
talk.
really.
That's Texas talk. There are a lot of Mavericks down in Texas. How about the running tough part of it, though? You have so many records on Monday Night Football. Does it mean that much more to you, Tony?
Well, Monday Night Football, you know, you had the audience of America, so every time I was on Monday Night Football, I tried to capture the moment and do something special.
Johnny Hector picks up the first number. Well, that was a bizarre play in which he got hurt in practice this year, but you know, the Cowboys only had 10 men on the field for that play. You were aware of that, I guess, Tony?
I wasn't at the time. Actually, I thought we had 11 men on the field. Ron Springs was supposed to have been in there, but for some reason he wasn't there.
Reggie McElroy with a false start here.
Yeah, Reggie got a quick start.
False start. 68 offense. Still first down.
Tony, I started to mention a crazy play in which you get hurt this year, the injury in practice.
Yeah, that's what makes it even so frustrating. You know, we're just in a non-contact drill, and I'm running the pass pattern, making that. I've made that cut a zillion times over my career, and I go to plant, and it doesn't plant, and the knee gives way.
Tony, a historic moment here tonight with Art Shell making his debut as the Raiders coach. Your thoughts on a black coach, finally a head coach in the NFL?
Well, you know, I think it's a step in the right direction, and I'm hoping, just like all the other coaches in the National Football League, he's judged on his coaching abilities and his won and loss record and not the color of his skin.
Would you ever consider coaching yourself, Tony?
I don't think I'm cut out to be a coach. I think with so many different personalities that are in football today, I don't think I have the patience to really put up with it.
You want to keep that headset on as a full-time job?
I love to do that.
Yeah, we knew why
you guys here.
Time for Tony to leave now.
TD, great seeing you.
It's good visiting with you.
Good luck with the book, too. Running tough, Tony Dorsett.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. TD.
The Jets from the 15-yard line. It's 2nd down and 9, and O'Brien slings one to the near side, and it is incomplete, intended for Townsell, covered by Lionel Washington. 3rd down coming.
Seeing some good corner coverage tonight by the Raiders. Terry McDaniel on the one side, Lionel Washington on the other. Getting locked up tonight in a lot of man coverage. Starting out in the old Raider fashion, bump and run up at the line. And they are playing good defensive football.
And they've had to be real good. Again, they are minus Van McElroy, the free safety, who's on injured reserve. They throw underneath, and this time Townsell makes the catch and has the 1st down. He's tackled by Terry McDaniel. So on 3rd and long, they pick it up. Also, we've got to know, talking about the Raiders secondary, of course, the year began on such a tragic note for the Raiders. Their strong safety, Stacy Turan, killed on a Saturday night near his home in Marina Del Rey in an automobile accident.
And again, what made it even more tragic, Al, is that alcohol was involved, and Stacy was inebriated at the time of the accident, and I guess a sobering reminder to all of us about drinking and driving. But as you said, a loss to the Raiders that's difficult for them to overcome now with McElroy out as well. Both of their projected starting safeties not in game. And Russell Carter, who had replaced Coran, also out.
A one-time Jet, and nobody's within 25 yards of that.
Again, that's Burkett, and we talked earlier about the little time he's had to work with Kenny O'Brien, the complexity of the Jets' offensive scheme of things, particularly as it's related to the pass. And again, the drums were rolling wrong for Burkett. I'm quite sure he's going to have a quick chat. I don't know if the NFL charts these kind of records, but this may be the farthest away from anyone on your own team a ball has ever landed. This was a good 30 yards away from Chris Burkett, who was the closest Jet.
Steve Hurd checked it out. It's 32.
32, yeah, in 1957.
2nd and 10. And the catch is made by Griggs, the tight end, the man who is spelling the injured Schuler, and a 1st down for the Jets at the 48-yard line. And Hundley, who was just picked up from Phoenix recently, is going to get a penalty that will tack on another 15.
That's just not smart. And a little tacky to begin with, right out in the open field where you know you're going to get picked up on the flag. Well, Griggs kind of started it, and then he flipped the ball to Hundley. But, you know, that is a subtle way of taunting a player. Oh, they're going to call it. They're going to call Griggs for flipping the ball to Hundley to begin with. Well, there's a way to shuffle it off to Buffalo, so to speak. Now watch Billy Griggs when he goes down. Okay. He knows that he's down on the ground. When he gets up, he's going to flip it up to Ricky Hundley.
That just is taunting in a way, but I mean, actually, it was Hundley who precipitated it with that little push.
Meanwhile, here's Hector taking it to the 46-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Well, it goes down in the books as offsetting penalties. Frankly, it probably shouldn't have been a penalty on either player. This is somewhat of an emotional game. You would hope it's played emotionally, and more or less a reflex action by Hundley as he flipped it back to Griggs.
But isn't he a typical Raider, though? He had problems early in his career, has been troubled at Denver, and now he comes in as a free agent. One of 19 the Raiders have on their roster.
2nd down and 6 from the 45-yard line. And McNeil gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Well, the Raiders have been noted for that, taking guys that nobody else wants. And a lot of them have had second careers, but well, Mike Dickey, you see Mike's comment the other day about, hey, you know, I've heard enough about these guys being brought back from wherever. And Al Davis said yesterday, I'm going to let Mike off the hook with that comment because I don't know what time of day he uttered it.
Well, I think Mike Ditka was probably responding to the Raiders and their picking up Otis Wilson,
And the treatment
Mike
of
Richardson.
Mike Shanahan, too. Ditka being a very good friend of Mike Shanahan.
There's a lot of harsh things being said about people around the NFL.
3rd down and 6. And O'Brien for Townsend, who makes a great catch at the 20-yard line. The coverage by Lionel Washington. And Townsend back to the goal line, making the catch at the 20.
Some effort by JoJo Townsend. We talked about his return capabilities, and again, Kenny O'Brien right on target with the ball, but falling over backwards, doesn't get a chance to get any sort of a leap. And again, the coverage by Lionel Washington was pretty solid. That's a nice effort that time by Townsend, and now the Jets, after the Raiders scored to go up 7-0, making a bit of their own here.
New York's deepest penetration of the night. Drive starting at their own 3-yard line. O'Brien fakes and throws, and it's nearly picked off by Anderson. Burkett, the intended receiver, and Eddie Anderson nearly picked it.
Oh, and he should have been picked off by Eddie Anderson. Again, very uncharacteristic of Kenny O'Brien. He just does not give up the interceptions, and this is one that should have been.
If he throws a little earlier, it's a touchdown.
Easy, or leaves it out front, it's a touchdown. As it was, he put it up there where Anderson should have had it easily.
Yeah, you could see there how Burkett had to wait for the ball. He almost had to come to a complete stop in making his break to the corner. If it's thrown either a second earlier or 2 or 3 yards farther out front, that's an easy Jet touchdown.
2nd and 10 from the 20. 13th play of the drive. O'Brien shoots out to the right and then hits Roger Vick, who takes it to the 8-yard line. 1st and goal.
A hopping Roger Vick.
Hits in his get-along.
What a piece of awareness by Roger Vick, who's going to feel a Raider defender. I think it's Scott Davis, number 70, who's going to come flying in. I think he's going to feel Davis coming in. I think from screen right. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there comes Davis. Whoop, up into the air. Boy, and Davis, who's really in a position to make the tackle, all of a sudden had a leg and it wasn't there anymore.
Danny and the junior should narrate that video.
It was good enough to that little hop to get the 1st down. That's the hop.
At the 8, 1st and goal. Townsend, the man in motion, little quick toss out to McNeil. And Freeman McNeil to the 1-yard line. Stopped by Eddie Anderson. So the Jets trying to tie it up with 6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter.
McElroy and Alexander out front on that one, springing some key blocks at the perimeter. And Freeman McNeil now coming out of the ball game as the Jets go to their tough guys, short yardage offense. They like to go with Johnny Hector and Roger Vick, their 2 big backs.
And without a 3rd tight end, Mickey Schuler not in there tonight. They'll bring in another offensive lineman to play where Schuler ordinarily would be.
And this is Hector, where he has the great leaping ability, but that time
goes in for the touchdown.
Good drive by the New York Jets.
From the 3-yard line, remember it started after that Humphrey run back, tackled back at the 3, and they go 97 yards and have a chance to tie the game on an extra point by Leahy.
It's an excellent drive, Al and Frank, because it's 97 yards, but again, keep in mind, it came on the heels of a Raiders score. So you not only go all the yardage, but you counter the first touchdown of the game by the Raiders, and solid work there by the left side of the Jet line. That time it's Criswell, Hayton, Sweeney that get it done.
Pat Leahy, who is establishing a Jet record tonight, playing in his 208th game as a New York Jet. Pat Leahy boots it to the 6. Tim Ware brings it back to the 21-yard line. Penalty.
Well, we've seen some flags on the kicking game tonight. Seem to run in spurts. You'll go a game or 2 without a lot of them, and then a game like this, it seems that every other play in the kicking scheme ends up with some sort of a penalty.
Against the Raiders. They'll push him back.
One thing Arthur appears to be doing is keeping his emotions in check.
Number 88 on the run back. First down.
Art appears to have the temperament of a head coach on the sideline. Here he's going to greet one of his players on the sideline.
After the penalty on the run back, the Raiders start at their own 11-yard line, 5:20 to go in the third quarter.
Now this happened to the Raiders the last time, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. Remember, they had the return all the way out to the 40, came back to their 7-yard line, and ended up with a touchdown drive. Let's see if they can do it again. And this audience here at the Meadowlands, the Jet crowd, is finally into the game.
Raiders win 93, Jets win 97. Now LA tries to go 89. First and 10 from the 11. Marcus Allen takes it to the 15-yard line, a gain of 4. Goodyear Blimp America floating high above Giant Stadium. We're about 8 miles as the Zeppelin flies from Midtown Manhattan. Beautiful night.
Temperature is expected to drop down close to freezing in this area. It's getting on towards winter. Whatever happened to our Indian summer? Yeah.
Second and 6 from the 15-yard line. Marcus Allen takes it out to the 20-yard line. It'll be third down and a yard and a half.
I don't know if it's by design with the Raiders or what, but Eric McMillan hasn't been around the ball a lot tonight. I wonder if it's the fact that the Raiders are intentionally staying away from the second-year free safety, who's off to another great start. 3 interceptions so far this year. Had a 92-yard interception return last week for a touchdown. Who beat the old Jet record held by, we ought to have a halftime trivia one on this, Wayne Fonts, the coach of the Detroit Lions, who ran an 83-yard interception back for a touchdown against whomever, I don't know. But that was with the old New York Titans, and I don't think he got it.
Vance Bueller well short, third and a long yard, and he doesn't come close.
Now, Wayne Fonts returned an interception, 83 yards for a touchdown. Was he thinner then?
You would hope.
Well, you know, that has to bother an Art Shell, who, the great Hall of Fame offensive lineman, when you have third and short and you can't hammer it over. They tried the left side where he used to work with Gene Upshaw. Seldom, if ever, did they come up short.
Jeff Gossick's kick taken by Townsell at the 43-yard line. Gets an initial block and then goes down at the 50. So the Jets have the football at midfield. 37-yard punt. We're back 5 weeks into the season. Guys, enjoy Buffalo next week as the LA Rams, the only unbeaten team in the NFL, takes on the Bills next Monday night.
We'll be enjoying your coverage of the World Series.
We'll start that on Saturday night. But the Rams picking up where a lot of people thought they would after finishing so strong last year.
Even with that great 5-0 start, though, the 49ers are still right behind them, and it's going to be a hotly contested division there in the NFC West, although, boy, it's been a disappointing start for New Orleans.
Raymond McNeil from the 49 of the Raiders takes it to the 45. I guess the key with the 49ers is to keep them on the road. 4-0 away and 0-1 at Candlestick.
You know, Dan was talking about the angry words that are being thrown around the National Football League. It would be nice to be a fly on the wall this week at the owners' meeting when they settle down and they try to pick a commissioner out of their 4 eligible now. They went in the running. Jim Finks, Paul Tagliabue, the longtime attorney, Willie Davis, Patrick Barrett. Very, very interesting.
Second and 6 from the 45-yard line, and Griggs can't one-hand it. It'll be third down and 6. That meeting starts tomorrow in Dallas.
Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Denver Broncos, has already been quite vocal in saying that he really doesn't expect these meetings to produce a commissioner. Remember last week before the game, we were talking Norman Brayman, the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, and he kind of echoed the same sentiments, that he didn't expect a commissioner to come out of this meeting, and yet it sure would be nice if they could make some progress. If they can't come out with a commissioner, at least come out with some concrete game plan as to how and when they will elect one.
I would think there's a good chance of that happening.
But again, better to be slow and right than fast and wrong.
Third and 6, and wrapped up in the backfield is Freeman McNeil by Scott Davis. #1 draft choice last year out of the University of Illinois.
You know, so many things are on hold in the National Football League. Pete Rozelle, of course, is still there. He could take action, but I'm sure he's not doing it in many cases because he doesn't want to saddle the new commissioner with any decision on his part.
And meanwhile, Austin, our talk about the commissioner was a dismal offensive series by the New York Jets, getting the ball on the Raiders' side of the field and doing absolutely nothing with it.
And follows a dismal offensive series by the Raiders, who on 3rd and a yard and a half couldn't convert. Thus each team gives it back as Prokop's kick is taken at the 17-yard line. Fair caught by Bobby Joe Edmonds. And the Raiders will take over there with 1:59 to play in the 3rd quarter.
That, of course, would have been perhaps Tim Brown, and we talked earlier about Tim Brown hurting his knee in the opening game. Surgery, could be back this season, probably not. Well, Bobby Joe Edmonds did some fine return work early in his career with Seattle.
And the funny thing was, they looked at him in the Detroit camp, and they released him. And then the Raiders had to pick him up when Brown got hurt. L.A. from the 17. Marcus Allen. And out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A first down for the one-time Heisman Trophy winner out of the University of Southern California. From the 33-yard line. And this is Kerry Porter. His first carry of the night out to the 44-yard line. Pretty good-looking running back out of Washington State, 6'1", 220-pounder. 12-yard pickup. There he is. But the problem is, when Bo gets there, what do you do with Kerry Porter?
I asked Art Shell last night about what he planned to do, and he said he would face that when it came up, and that could come up as early as next week because Bo is expected to report. And Art said he'd sit down and deal with it when it happened.
But it's going to be a couple weeks before Jackson's in a position to be an everyday player, an every down player from the backfield formation. He may be able to come in and maybe be productive for 10 or 12 plays right off the bat, but it's going to take a little bit before he's in there on every down.
Will you ever forget that magical night in Seattle?
That was some burst up the sideline, wasn't it?
93 yards.
Kenny Easley had the angle, and by the time he got there, Bo was 4 yards gone.
Second down and 7 after a 3-yard gain by Porter. 40 seconds to go in the quarter. Vance Mueller is now in the game alongside Marcus Allen. Mueller turns the corner, and James Hasty runs in out of bounds near the first down marker.
Oddly enough, the Raiders are able to run the ball when the Jets defensively are much better against the run than they are the pass. We talked about it earlier, last in the league defending against the pass, and yet the Raiders are attacking their defense with the run where they were 5th in the NFL against the run.
Well, one thing about it, when Mike Shanahan was the coach, you knew that he was really a pass-oriented type of coach. With Art Shell, I don't think there's any mistake how he would like to see the Raiders earn their money, and that's running the football. Nothing fancy, the old slants off tackle. I don't think there's any doubt that that's what the big guy would like to see.
Well, they came up short last time running on 3rd and short. Here it's 3rd down and 2. Play clock was all the way down, and it cost them. It's a delay.
And Galt, I think, also, top of your screen, was offside.
Well, he was trying to go, but I'm afraid the clock expired even before Galt took off.
False start. 63 offense. Still 3rd down.
You can take your pick on that one because the clock was down to 0.
Well, I'd like to know how he gets John Giesick, the left guard, when Willie Galt was long gone. Safe to say that Jay Schrader just allowed the game clock to get too close, forcing the rhythm of the Raiders to get totally messed up. We had receivers leaving early, linemen rocking back in their stance, all to try to avoid a penalty that they ended up taking anyway.
3rd down and 7. Good protection and going deep for Alexander, and picked off by McMillan. His 12th career interception. and the son of one-time Cardinal Ernie McMillan takes it to the 30, the 35, and is out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
And I'm going to tell you right now what happened there, guys. Mike Alexander, for whatever reason, gave up on his pattern. He was going to run a fly and then a move to the inside and then back to the fly again. And for some reason, he just stopped. Now watch him working one-on-one here with James Hasty. Now Hasty's giving him lots of room. But right here, Alexander just stops. I mean, he really slows down. And if he stays in full stride, he's down in the vicinity of the football.
And here comes McMillan, his 4th interception this year. Last week, he took one back 92 yards against Indianapolis, and Pro Bowler a year ago, and as Al mentioned, the son of a great one that you know so well, and Ernie McMillan.
Well, this has been, oh, wait till O'Brien's done here.
From the 45-yard line, he hits Burkett, and he's out of bounds about 2 yards short of the first down at the 47.
I mean, this has been my year to watch sons of former teammates.
We just saw names too, Eric.
Yeah, we just saw what Eric McMillan did here with his 4th interception of the year, and then earlier this season, we saw the Browns and the Bengals, and Eric Metcalf, the son of Terry Metcalf, another one of my teammates, and of course Ernie and Terry Metcalf were teammates together. Wow.
Second.
We didn't win many ball games, but man, they were sure fathering some great sons.
Good bloodline. 2nd and 2 and a first down on the final play of the quarter. Johnny Hector to the 41-yard line, stopped by Mike Harden, and so each team scores a touchdown in the third. Start the 4th quarter. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf. Game tied 7-7. It's 1st and 10 for the Jets at the Raider 41, and a fumble, loose ball, and O'Brien himself is the man who recovers at the 42-yard line after Vick had coughed it up. No pun intended.
Coughed it up. Vick coughed it up. Boy, that was some effort by Kenny O'Brien. Talk about being alert. Roger Vick never even got it. It was put in the proper position.
Mid-ball or straight?
That is really a nice effort by Kenny O'Brien as I attempt to remain the only straight guy in the booth there as these two are doing stand-up comedy.
This is the first time all year you'll attempt it, right? He's on his way to Buffalo. 2nd and 11.
What were you alluding to?
And O'Brien throwing against the grain for Burkett. 3rd down and 11 for the Jets now from the 43-yard line. Fake draw. And then O'Brien slings one intended for Townsell and a little too high for him. 4th down. Covering on the play was McDaniel, and the Jets will have to kick from midfield.
I think the Jets got the coverage they were looking for, and Townsell makes the break. He is open, and that ball from Kenny O'Brien was a little high and a little out front. But that's what the Jets were looking for. Good call from upstairs and well executed except for the throw.
Joe Prokop's left-footed kick will bounce at the 8-yard line, take a Raider bounce, and is down at the 10 by Ken Rose. Here the Raiders now from the 10-yard line, and straight up the middle goes Smith, and a flag is down.
Your basic hold flag. Just for Rory Gray's sake, I hope it's not on him. He has had as difficult a start of the season that any tackle could have in terms of number of penalty flags, and I'm sincerely hoping it's not on you, young man.
Holding 67 offense. Still first down.
Dan Turk.
Dan Turk, the center, who's filling in for Don Mosbar, the regular center and one of the better offensive linemen in the league.
In the old days, Raider football would be for a Stabler to drop back, Jim Plunkett to drop back and just fire one deep to one of those outside receivers. 1st and 15 from the 5-yard line. Whatever it is, it's being changed at the line of scrimmage by Schrader, and he better hurry. Play clock is down to 7. And Schrader throws, and even though there's a flag, but it looked like, to me, Gold ran into the defender. A late flag, a flag nonetheless.
No, that's interference all the way. You got to call James Hasty on that. Willie Galt makes his break to the inside, and Hasty comes up and just drops him.
Question is, was it a catchable pass? And that's the reason for the conference right now.
And that's almost impossible to tell from up in the press box. That's a ground level call as to whether or not it's catchable.
Hasty did collide, but I think it was respect for Galt's speed that made him drive in on Galt.
I mean, that's
questionable. And I think they're going to bring it back.
There's no flag. The pass was uncatchable.
Exactly.
Okay, well, there's no question that if the ball was catchable, that would have been interference. James Hasty came in and hit him from behind. Kyle Clifton, meanwhile, is putting the pressure on Jay Schrader. Wisely pulls off and doesn't pick up a flag. And I think Mr. Shell is saying that ball looked awful catchable to me. And frankly, I don't blame him. I think that was a penalty. I think that ball was close enough that it's impossible to say that it wasn't catchable.
2nd and 15 from the 5-yard line. Schrader, and incomplete, intended for Steve Smith, who was in a lot of traffic in amongst the linebackers, including Benson.
Credit Jeff Lageman, the rookie #1 draft pick, who dropped deep into the pass defense and took away Willie Galt. That's where Schrader wanted to go, and he had to check it off, and it was incomplete. Here he is with his checkoff man, getting it to Smith, and
excellent coverage there by Benson. Very, very good.
So the linebackers, Benson and Lageman, doing a good job for the Jets.
3rd and 15 from the 5. And they keep it on the ground, and Marcus Allen can only get to the 10-yard line. He is stopped by Kyle Clifton.
Well, there's one of the ways that the Raiders kind of give an indication as to what they're going to do in a long passing situation like that with only 2 wide receivers. And you see Marcus as he hobbles off the field. Looks like he was caught from the side by Clifton on that tackle. But when you only have 2 wide receivers, you're really allowing the defensive team to concentrate more on what's happening up at the line of scrimmage. And a run like that, I think, is a little less likely to succeed.
Jeff Gossett and the Jets have Harper and Townsell both back, and a fair catch made by Townsell back at the 41-yard line.
Excellent, excellent punt.
When we left, you saw Marcus Allen coming off the field, and he was limping, and he took a shot on his right knee. Now watch as he starts to break through the opening, and Kyle Clifton will come in. Look at the right knee as it is hit just as he has all of his weight on it, and they have looked at him on the sidelines. He's walking around, but he does appear to be injured, hopefully just slightly.
And so Brian on 1st down, hitting Townsell for a 1st down. He gets from his own 42 to the Raider 42 on a gain of 16. So Allen trying to shake it off, and the Jets trying to move downfield.
Well, it's impossible to speculate what did happen, but one thing in Marcus's favor, you could see where even though he took the shot and the knee did flex, as it flexed, he was able to get the foot up off the turf. But boy, it's reminiscent of the shot that we saw Ickey Woods take. And Ickey Woods ended up having surgery, and I'm not speculating that at all.
This is Johnny Hector taking it to the 34-yard line. And I think it'll be 2nd and about 2.
I think back over Marcus Allen's career, I don't think he's ever had a knee injury, and the first time you get one, you don't believe it to begin with. And they have been looking at the knee. They've been checking it to see how tight it is, how loose it is. And obviously Marcus is worried about it. And so too are the trainers and the medical staff of the Raiders.
Jets with a 2nd and a long one from just inside the 34-yard line. Burkett in motion. Toss to Vick, and he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Mike Harden coming up, holding his ground, and stopping him short of the 1st down. Other than the strike in 1987, Allen has been remarkably durable. He's missed only 4 games in his career.
That last play by the Jets kind of indicative of what kind of offensive play we've seen from both teams tonight. We've seen some nicely executed plays, and then we see a play like that where Mike Harden, totally unaccounted for, makes a play in the backfield and a play that never had a chance to develop. And really been kind of a herky-jerky offensive game by both teams.
Third and a short 3. O'Brien protected well, fires too high for Griggs, picked off at the 15-yard line by Eddie Anderson. And Anderson still on his feet. Anderson out past the 30,
Look out.
the 40.
Goodbye.
O'Brien can't catch him. Eddie Anderson on the move inside the 20-yard line and all the way for a touchdown. 87 yards. Eddie Anderson getting the start because McElroy is hurt. And he's the man of the hour for the LA Raiders, scoring his first NFL touchdown with 10:05 to play.
Give an assist to the Raider pass rush. O'Brien out of time, had to deliver it before he wanted to, and he was hammered to the turf just as he delivered that ball. He never saw it intercepted.
Keep in mind, though, what we talked about early in the ball game, how it's an unusual year for Kenny O'Brien, having more interceptions than he does touchdown passes.
Jager's extra point is good. So last week, the Jets got beat on a punt return by Clarence Verdun, and tonight they now trail on an interception return by Eddie Anderson.
O'Brien does get the pressure from the backside, but it appeared that the ball took off on him. It just sailed, and it was an overthrow. This will be the perfect angle to see it.
Greg Townsend, he's the designated pass rusher for the Raiders, and he just waffled O'Brien as he released the ball, and here comes Anderson. O'Brien got up, got into the pursuit of Anderson, but this was a no-contest affair as Anderson takes it in for his first touchdown. And that was also Reggie McElroy, number 68, giving pursuit, but Anderson takes it all the way. Greg Townsend has all the Raiders sacks into tonight, or had them all. Former down lineman the Raiders converted last year into a linebacker, and they still use him a lot in their four-man alignment. (14-7).
Jaeger to kick off in front of his stunned throng. Taken by Humphrey, who picks it up at the 1-yard line. And again, Humphrey having trouble. But at least this time he's able to run it back to the 13. The last time he fielded it on about the 8 and ran it back to the 3. First and 10, Jets. From the 12, 9:52 to go. Freeman McNeil to the 15-yard line for a gain of a couple. Longest punt return in Raider history, Mike Haynes, the veteran, interception return. There it is in 1984, 97 yards. Freddie the Hammer Williamson back in 62 when the Raiders were in the AFL. And now Eddie Anderson for the showman.
Freddie, of course, dropped by here at one point in his career.
Brief visit. Second and 8 from the 15. O'Brien throws complete to the 21-yard line. The catch is made by Billy Griggs, but you can see he's about a yard and a half short of the first down.
Jets thus far this season, and it's been kind of a Joe Walton trait. Third and short yardage, they like to go with play action and throw the football.
3rd and 1 from the 22-yard line. And O'Brien, the play fake, nice one-handed catch by Johnny Hector, and a big play for him as he takes it out to the 42-yard line, keeping the drive alive. Run out by Jeff Lee.
Yeah, the Raiders had to know that frequency also, and I'm surprised that he was able to get that open because it is what the Jets like to do on 3rd and short yardage. we look at it as a very high percentage way to get the first down, and they've been able to do it this far during this season. But Boomer Esiason went to East Islip High School, and that's where Joe Walton's son is performing so well now for East Islip. Big young man, 6'3". Joe's father was an All-American at Pittsburgh, as was Joe.
First and 10 from the 43-yard line. O'Brien to the far side. Burkett makes the catch. Short gain, stopped by Washington. Pickup of 3. The clock running, 8:10 to play. Again, each team coming in 1 and 3. Second down, 7 from the 46-yard line. And this is Johnny Hector for a short gain. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Raiders, with a victory, the Raiders would be 2 back of Denver. Denver is 4-1 in the West, but the Jets with a victory would pull to within a game in the very tight AFC East.
Well, they pulled to within a game of the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts, and the Bills, of course, you got to wonder what the future holds in store for them with an injured Jim Kelly.
3rd down and 6. O'Brien. And the protection breaks down, and Scott Davis sacks him at the 35.
That's a trample job there. Boy, now there's a case of a guy just getting run over. Scott Davis is number 70, who's lined up right here. Take a look at him. And this is what's known, ladies and gentlemen, as the old-fashioned bull rush. Nothing fancy, straight ahead, and he just goes right over the top of Adam Schreiber. Doesn't have a chance.
Prokop's kick. A short floater caught at the 36-yard line by Edmonds, and he gets tackled immediately by Carl Howard with 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Well, the Raiders now are trying to take some time off the clock, but they'll have to do it without that man. Marcus Allen with the knee wrapped and done for the night. And the Raiders can only hope only done for the night and not a couple of weeks.
Power football. That's what the Jets are looking for. A good time to go up and over.
Mueller and Porter are the running backs, and this is Mueller cutting inside Porter's block and then tackled by Gordon out at the 40-yard line after a gain of about 5.
If the Jets lose this tonight, they'll be 1-4. The same for the Raiders. But for the Raiders, it would be a little tougher because Denver is off to a 4-1 mark early in the season, while Buffalo and Indianapolis are tied in the AFC East at 3-2.
Denver really giving all the signs of being a totally rejuvenated franchise. They are playing good football.
They went from small, quick to big and powerful, didn't they? Dan Reeves has really gotten some good-sized people there in a hurry.
2nd and 4, and Schrader fires over the middle to a wide-open Mervyn Fernandez, who coughs up the ball, and it's recovered by the Jets, but they're saying no catch.
Well,
no catch, no fumble.
Might get a look-see, though.
You've got to pull the ball in and get both feet on the ground.
Well, the onus now on Al Sabato, the replay official.
You must get both feet on the ground and in firm possession of the ball. Now, Mervyn Fernandez is going to be hit by James Hasty. There is the hit. And boy, by the time we see the ball, it's all the way down in the mid-thigh area of Mervyn Fernandez. And keep in mind, the official who made the call was looking right at the ball. He was on the far side of the field. Let's see if we can see it anymore in this angle. But what I've seen so far, it looks like a good call by the official. Yeah, Mervyn Fernandez doesn't have that ball.
Good little ploy being used by every team in the league now is after a controversial play, they rush to the line of scrimmage to try to preclude another look, but not this time. Time is called.
And there was a look from the far side of the field. The play will stand. Mervin Fernandez did not have possession of the ball. Of course, that's booed by the Jets, who would have liked a completed catch.
That's the most definitive look, and he obviously never controlled it.
So the ball is at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Again, though, Schrader and the Raiders hurt by the receiver's inability to cover up and hold on to the football. A lot of drop passes in tonight's game, especially by the Raiders.
Schrader fires over the middle of Mueller, and he takes it to the 44 of the Jets, and a big 1st down.
It is classic Raider offense of the years gone by. The 3 receivers, Dial, the tight end, Fernandez and Galt, both taking it deep and sending the one back out of the backfield and just letting the quarterback read it.
Crowd quiet now as the Raiders pick up a 1st down, and again, it will take a lot more time off the clock, which is ticking down to the 5-minute mark. LA on top by 7, 1st and 10. The Marcus Allen-less Raiders at the 43-yard line. And they give it to Porter, and he gets tackled at the line of scrimmage by Marty Lyons by the ankle.
Now, you touched on something. Marcus Allen is their man, not only when you want to move the ball offensively looking for points, but when you want to control it. He is a power runner, can take it inside and outside, and he works so well on the short, high percentage stuff out of the backfield, and he is looking on and looking very concerned himself on the sidelines about that knee. Again, I don't think he's ever suffered a knee injury. Remarkably durable and a great college career at USC and through his 7 years plus here with the Raiders.
2nd and 9 from the 43-yard line. Schrader taking as much time as he can off the play clock, which is now down to 3, 2. They get the play off, and Mueller goes nowhere. Gets turned back by Gordon with an assist from Lageman. 3rd and long.
Well, this is a drive for the Raiders that can be measured in success not only by points, but by 1st downs. And they have been chewing up both some field and some clock.
Try to get something high percentage and let the run take care of the rest of it.
3rd down and 14. Schrader out of the pocket and almost across the line of scrimmage, and then throws. And the catch is made by Mike Alexander, but he is a little short of the 1st down. Somehow, some way, Schrader able to get the ball in there between the defender and the sideline, but short of the 1st down.
Good move by Schrader. He knew, even though he could scramble for 7, 8, 9 yards, that he could not get the 1st down. He waited and waited and finally was able to deliver the ball. And a super catch by Alexander, both feet in bounds, and it'll give the Raiders a 4th down and 1. Major decision for head coach Art Shell.
Well, you're inside the 35. If you're thinking field goal, it's a 52-yarder. And the Raiders are going to take a timeout to think this one over. So the first real critical strategic decision to be made here by Art Shell and his staff with exactly 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Situation where it's 4th and 1. They've used their first timeout. And Schrader's coming back out, so they will be going for it.
Well, it's just all a question of what kind of confidence you have in your kicker's leg at a long distance like that. The other thing to keep in mind, a lot of times when a kicker attempts a longer field goal than he normally can handle, a lot of times he kicks that ball low and attempt to power it, and that's where you end up with a blocked field goal, and you'll oftentimes see those return for big plays.
I'm sure that was factored into the thinking.
4th and 1. The play clock is already down to 6 seconds. They have to get it off in a hurry. Unless they're just trying to draw him off, but no, they go for it, and it's close. Steve Smith stumbling, and may have stumbled his way into a 1st down. They have to get to the 33.5.
Boy, and in that pile right there, I lost sight of Smith altogether. I don't have any idea where they're going to spot this ball.
They're going to spot it plenty of yardage for the 1st down. He just stumbled through there and got down close to the 33-yard, and they'll bring it in, but it looks from up here that he hasn't.
It does. And he needed to get to the 33 and a half, and he took it to the 33, and the clock is down to 2:50 and a first down, a vital one for the Raiders.
I wonder if Art Shell will have a tough time staying away from wanting to run left in situations like that. The subconscious mind might want to tell him, go left, go left, go left.
Bookend Hall of Famers over on the left side for so many years.
We don't see that very often.
Art.
That first down by the Raiders has sent some of the Jet faithful scurrying for their cars. Even though the Raiders only lead by 7 points, this has been an impressive drive when they had to keep it.
From the 33-yard line, the Jets are going to be forced to use their timeouts on defense, and Smith takes the ball to the 30-yard line, and timeout New York with 2:16. Look at a free one, of course, with a 2-minute warning. So Joe Walton, it's funny, the trademark of Walton's teams since he came to the Jets in '83 has been to get off to great starts and then fade at the end. And he can only hope for the reverse this year because the Jets are going to be off to a 1-4 start unless they can pull it off.
As to those credit, this has been a decimated team through injuries. 3 Pro Bowlers, former Pro Bowlers, not seeing action. And I will out too did see a little action before he had to leave the game. But Mickey Schuler unable to go at all tonight. And Wesley Walker has been out since the first game of the season.
There it is. You can see the first 5 games in each of Walton's years, good records outside of this year. And they fade away at the end.
"22 players on this team that are 2 years, have 2 years or less experience on the Jets."
Second down and 7. LA from the 30-yard line. And Smith stopped after a gain of 2. The Jets take another timeout, so they're down to 1, and there's a penalty marker down.
There's a free stoppage in the clock that'll work out for someone. That's a double bonus to the Jets if it happens to go against the Raiders, which it does. So they not only don't have to use one of their timeouts, but some yardage will get assessed against Art Shell's club. There's a who wasn't look.
One of the things that goes with the poise, doesn't it, Dan? At this point, you don't get this holding call.
Holding, 66 offense. Still second down.
Steve
There's
Wright.
no Jet charge timeout.
And as Johnny Greer just told us, no timeout charge. A free one because of the penalty.
Steve Wright is at the top of your screen. You see him lined up at tight end. He's an offensive tackle. Reports in on short yardage. Driving his man to the outside, and we can only assume that his left hand is somewhere around that man's back. Steve Wright, backup tackle, hurts his club.
2nd and 17 after the 10-yard walk-off. And Schrader is now forced to go to the air and throws low, intended for Mueller, and that stops the clock with 2:07. So the Jets with 2 timeouts remaining, plus a free one at the 2-minute warning.
The Jets read it right. Lageman was in there on the pass rush along with Marty Lyons, and Schrader had to deliver that long before he wanted to.
Yeah, but here you had the Raiders had the Jets on the ropes time-wise, in a position to run it out and really force the Jets to use all of their timeouts, even though they were going to get a free one, as you said, out with a 2-minute warning. And boy, what a reversal here. The Jets still have 2 timeouts left. The Raiders here on 3rd down, if they don't convert, are going to have the clock stopped by the 2-minute warning. So the Jets may get the ball back with 2 timeouts remaining.
3rd down, 17 from the 40-yard line. Schrader flushed out, looking, throwing long. No Raider is there, and it's 4th down, and that will take us.
With 1:59 to go, the Raiders will punt. The Jets will get the ball back. Jeff Gossett to kick it. JoJo Townsell is back at the 10, and when the Jets get the football, they have 2 timeouts remaining.
More importantly, the Jets will have those 2 timeouts remaining because of the way the Raiders use the clock.
Yeah, the holding call against Wright kind of started a snowballing effect. Then a poorly conceived pass play that ended up being incomplete, stopping the clock, hurt the Raiders as well.
End over end, Townsell fields at the 10-yard line. And out of bounds he goes at the 15. The tackle is made by Mike Dial, and the clock shows 1:51 remaining.
Don't you wish, if you were a Jet, that you had Al Toon available? Big, strong, clutch receiver you can throw the high percentage pass to and let him break a tackle and add on a lot of yardage with the ability to run the football. He's unavailable, however. Wesley Walker has been unavailable since the beginning of the season. He's the other deep flying Jet. And of course, Mickey Shula is a guy who could take you downfield with 4 or 5 catches. All unavailable to the Jets.
And thus instead, to the bottom of the screen, you've got Townsell and Burkett and Michael Harper. And O'Brien goes the other way for Griggs, but he was well covered with all 3 receivers to the right. He still, Griggs did, drew double coverage from Lyndon King and Eddie Anderson. Second down.
You know, a novel concept of putting all 3 receivers to one side, then working the other side of the field, but it doesn't work if the lone receiver to the far side is in double coverage. I mean, that's the type of situation where the QB's got to look at that and come off immediately. Boy, and Joe Walton on the sidelines is saying, Kenny, you can't make that throw. That's not the proper read.
Second and 10, out of the shotgun. The throw underneath to Griggs, and he's tackled by Anderson. That's a first down at the 30. Ball comes loose after the play. Jets conserving their timeouts. They have a pair remaining. First down at the 30.
Howie Long back in the game for the Raiders, trying to put on a pass rush.
And O'Brien looks for the sideline and throws too high, intended for Townsell, and he was blanketed by McDaniel. 1:25 to play.
Good work by the Jets up front. They're giving O'Brien time. They're giving Kenny the time to see the field. The Raiders, by and large, aren't getting off the line of scrimmage.
Second down, 10, 1:25 to go. Again, it's Burkett and Harper and Townsell all split right. And O'Brien throws to Griggs over the middle, never had control. Incomplete, covered by Haynes, third down.
This has been a horrible game from a receiver standpoint. We have seen sloppy attempts at receptions by receivers on both clubs. Even Mervin Fernandez, who turns in the big play for the Raiders,
and Marcus,
has a couple of drops. Everyone has taken turns. No one's been immune here tonight.
It's a good excuse Griggs because he's not primarily receiver for the Jets. Nevertheless, he is a tight end. That was right in there. Now they're going to have to keep in mind, hey, you're going to have to think first down.
Third and 10, and into traffic. Townsell somehow comes up with the ball at the 47-yard line, tight roping the sideline. In traffic, 17-yard gain, first down, New York.
Well, that was a design pass play. It was a strange one because you had Burkett and Townsell right together. And as a matter of fact, Burkett screened out. There's number 87, screened out a defender for the Raiders. Makes the catch and gets the first down.
Boy, that's a risky pass. A lot of confusion on the sidelines. Keep in mind, when you have 2 receivers that close to one another, they bring their defenders in that close as well. You had 5 people within a couple yards of the ball.
First and 10 from the 47, and O'Brien throws intended for Griggs, and he was shadowed on the play by Haynes. It'll be second down and 10.
Haynes in his 14th year, and he was right with the receiver all the way.
Second and 10. Second and 10 at the 47-yard line. If this is going to be a Jets comeback, it's not going to be viewed by many. This place is 2/3 empty right now.
I've been intrigued by the fact that whatever design Bill Walton has in his pass offense, where he puts 3 men to the one side, up until now he's put them on the short side of the field, the hash mark side of the field, and this way he goes back to the more orthodox setup.
There's still plenty of time with both timeouts.
Second and 10, and the catch is made at the 40-yard line, but the ball comes loose and it's incomplete. Incomplete, intended for Keith Newbert.
He drops it again. I mean, Newbert, I think we're going to see on replay, this was a very catchable ball. Unless someone strips it out, but it sure looked good from here. This will tell us all we need to know. I mean, Kenny O'Brien, I'm afraid, just can't throw it any better than that.
Mike Harden is there, and also defensively was Zepp Lee, former running back at SC.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do as a coach? No wonder Joe Walton has a I could just burst into tears look on his face.
3rd down and 10. Fake draw. O'Brien throws, and the catch is made by Burkett at the 34-yard line. A first down. Stopped by Anderson, and the clock was 53 seconds.
Now the difficult ones we can handle.
And timeout called by the Jets, so they've got 1 remaining.
There's the move by Chris Burkett to the sidelines, and another perfect drop by Kenny O'Brien. Lays it right over the top of Terry McDaniel. Dropped it right into the seam, and the Jets right now are basking in the luxury of a couple of timeouts. They just used one. They have 1 remaining, but again, basking in the luxury of several timeouts that they shouldn't have had if the Raiders are judicious in the way they run out the clock before they turn it over.
And don't commit that penalty.
A holding penalty, then an attempted pass that ends up being incomplete. The 2-minute warning, and where they could have run out the clock, the Jets end up with timeouts left to work with, and now they're threatening to score.
And where the Jets will be able to work now, as the Raiders become very conscious to the outside, will be up the middle. They'll have to be a very poised Jets ball club. Freeman McNeil would be a likely candidate coming out of the backfield. But they'll have to be able to get back and get into the huddle quickly.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. O'Brien nearly sacked, stumbling, sacked at the 50-yard line. Of all times to get sacked, Mike Wise and Howie Long.
To longtime Jet fans, it comes as no secret that Kenny O'Brien is not at his best when he's on the move out of the pocket. He is not a good scrambler, and it really showed that time.
They need 24 for the first. They throw it underneath, and the catch is made at the 34-yard line by Council. And the clock is now stopped for the last time by the Jets, so they have no timeouts remaining. 28 seconds. The line of scrimmage is the 34. They have to get to the 23 for a first down. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Boy, what a sack. What a costly sack to Kenny O'Brien and the New York Jets.
Of course, he was flushed out of the pocket, and being right-handed, he was flushed out to the left. Very difficult for him to get off anything that even remotely looked like an attempt to get to a receiver. And as you can say, as Dan said a moment ago, he's not the most agile coming out of the pocket. That's not his strong suit whatsoever. And Howie Long, who has not played that much, actually for the past couple of years, big play.
Stayed active. It was not pretty. Blocked initially at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go, but kept moving. Moved in the right direction.
So the Jets out of timeouts. 3rd down, 11. O'Brien in conference, sending Burkett, Townsell, and McNeil.
Well, they don't have to go to the end zone
right
here. They shouldn't be afraid to get just enough yardage for the first down.
And O'Brien looking for 11 yards and has it. A first down at the 15-yard line. Chris Burkett, but they can't stop the clock. So here they come with a clock ticking down. Raiders taking their time as much as they can. From the 16, O'Brien, and you're allowed to do that without a penalty to stop the clock. Throws it into the ground with 9 seconds.
Well, this should give the Jets 2 plays into the end zone. And they have to go to the end zone. They cannot run a play and get to the ball in time for a second snap. So they have no choice but to go to the end zone, at least on the first play. And then they could probably afford to be short of the end zone on the second one and hope that someone is able to run it in. But this first play right here has to be into the end zone, and it has to be a relatively quick pattern.
Again, 3 receivers, the 3 wideouts, all to the right. From the 15-yard line, O'Brien, flag is down. The pass is much too long.
Oh, that's going to be
8
holding.
yards out of the end zone, and Howie Long involved in the play. The holding call goes against the Jets. The clock is down to 3 seconds. Long was the man who got held. And we'll have 1 play left in the game.
Holding. 79 offense. Still second down.
Mike Haight.
Mike Haight, the left guard. Let's take a look at it. Howie Long with a strong inside rush. And Mike Haight just has the right arm all the way up there and tackles Howie Long. Give Long credit with that strong classic rip move to the inside that he's used for years, and Haight just wasn't ready for it.
Final play of the game.
No secret where they're going with it here.
And O'Brien for the end zone. It is knocked down by Terry McDaniel, and Art Shell has won in his Raider debut.
I think that's a happy man. I wonder why.
An ecstatic man.
He is no longer the first black coach in the NFL. He's just a winning coach right now. Let him savor it for a while.
Just win, baby, is the Raider theme, and that's exactly what he has done.
It weren't pretty, but it's a W. And for the Jets, well, 1-4 is their start, and it is a long way to go.
Al Davis and the Raiders, it'll be a happy charter home. They'll get to LA in the wee hours, but they'll get home with a victory. And
Al Davis has returned, as he put it, to Raider football. And we'll see in the days to come, the weeks to come, Al, because we touched that at the very beginning. They beat a 1-3 Jets team, not one of the strongest in the league, and they have a pretty tough schedule down the line. And there is the man who has to be happy tonight. Art Shell, a winner in his very first game as head coach.
And he makes his home debut as a coach against Kansas City next Sunday at the Coliseum. And in fact, in pregame ceremonies, they will officially present him with his Hall of Fame ring next Sunday.
Been a big year, hasn't it?